If you enjoyed this video, make sure and pick up one of our Buff Dudes workout plans. We have a variety and they're all geared to get you in the best shape of your life. Check them out at www.buffdudes.us. Now, let's get into kick-ass workout.
We're gonna start with shrugs, a little pre-exhaustion before we move on to some of the compound movements. And there's a few things that you can really do or pay attention to look big. Traps is one of them. Develop your neck, develop your shoulders, your arms. Most likely that's gonna make you look pretty big. So you'll see a lot of these guys, either it be Tom Hardy, Chris Hemsworth, they're working their traps, maybe a little bit in their back, but a lot in their shoulders and arms, stuff like that, to really develop that really cool superhero, or even in Tom Hardy's case, super villain look. And that's why we're using shrugs. Obviously, it's excellent for isolating the trapezius. Trapezius, it does a lot more than maybe some people give it credit for. It can not only elevate the shoulders, it can retract them, it can depress them. So there's a lot to it, and there's a lot of movements that it helps out. It's a pretty big muscle as well. It takes up a lot of the back. Not only the upper portion, there's the mid and lower portion of the trapezius as well. So it can create a lot of that upper back thickness too. So you definitely don't want to count the traps out. And we're using a lot of the movements in this workout to help target the traps, but also the shoulders too. So you really get that nice rounded look there in your upper body to make you look big. Yeah.
A lot of times the actors will work on the body parts that are going to be seen very frequently, that being the shoulders, the arms, even the neck. One body part I'm a little disappointed in that you'll never see exposed is the legs. Think about it. I want you to name one superhero that wears shorts. They'll wear tights, but they could get away with padding doing that. I can't think of a single superhero that wears shorts. On to the compound movements now. Got the isolation out of the way, a little bit of a pre-exhaustion. Now we're doing some seated pin shoulder presses, and we're adding a little movement in there, which is gonna be the elevation of your trapezius there, or your shoulders. So you're not only doing the press, you're really trying to separate and concentrate on the elevation at the end of the movement there. So big compound movement, of course, the shoulders, involving the shoulders, the elbows. But now you're really trying to focus a little bit more on the traps by elevating the weight as high as you can to get that nice squeeze at the top, lower it down, and then go back down to the bottom position to start the movement again. So definitely a big lift. Traps already burn out a little bit from the first initial movement in the shrugs, and this one is just gonna work on that much more harder. Yeah. We've always been big fans of shoulder drop sets. Today we're gonna be doing the high lateral raises. We're doing it 3 separate sets of dumbbells. It's gonna be really almost till burnout on every single one. So on the first set of 25 pounds, I went 15 reps, went to 10 reps for the 20s, went to 10 reps for the 15s. It's a super set or a tri-set. Really activates the deltoids. A lot of fatigue there. You wanna start with a weight that's a little lighter, seeing as you're doing a lot of sets. Damn, this is one of our favorites. Talk about fatigue, talk about muscular endurance. Get your heart rate up. It really burns those muscles like crazy. You know, Hudson was saying the high lateral raises. Well, those are essentially, it's a lateral raise, but you're just going a farther range of motion. You're bringing it really high. And the reason we're doing that is that's gonna really incorporate a little bit more of the trapezius. Once it gets to a certain point, the trapezius wants to shorten and pull the humerus even higher. Get that good squeeze, the top position there in your trap. So much like this workout is gonna have a lot of traps in it. Another way to target it is to do these really high lateral raises there. In the drop set, you know, there's a lot of fibers in the muscle groups, and to really try to target a lot more fibers, you can do drop sets because you're really gonna fatigue maybe the bigger fibers. As those fatigue, some of the smaller ones take over, and you get a little bit more all around muscle fatigue, and that can go a long way if you're trying to really push a little bit more development in a certain area. Finished with the drop set, now we're gonna be moving on to a superset, and what we're gonna be doing is the reverse flies with the retraction. So deltoids again, but also more importantly, trapezius again. I don't know about you guys following along, but this is probably the hardest I've activated my traps in quite some time, and it feels pretty good because sometimes they can get a little neglected. As Brandon said earlier, they're a lot larger if you look at an anatomy chart of the trapezius than you think you are. It's much more than just, you know, the 2 little lumps in between your neck and your deltoid. So very happy we're getting that engagement today. It's feeling damn good. I'm a big fan of this workout. Now both of these are a little bit more difficult than they might initially look. The reverse flies, you want to go a little bit lighter with them. It's a smaller muscle group, the posterior deltoid, that's going to be working in this movement, the reverse fly movement.
But then the retractions, and what we were saying about earlier is the trapezius does a lot. Elevations, depressions, retractions as well. So we're trying to separate these movements to kind of concentrate on each one. The middle to lower trapezius will help with the retractions, and it's actually kind of a tricky movement. You really want to imagine squeezing your shoulder blades together, so you don't want to get too much in the habit of trying to just shrug it up like you're used to. You really want to pull the weight back, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and the range of motion can be a little bit shorter at first if you're really trying to get used to it. So take your time to learn that and really engage that medium, the middle portion of the trapezius there. Get that nice squeeze and feel a little burning sensation in there, then you know it's working. But yeah, 2 different pairings right here that feel really good. And again, just getting that whole development of not only the deltoids, but the traps as well.
We're gonna be moving on to another superset. It's gonna be the alternating front raises with the upright rows, both utilizing the dumbbells. Once again, that's what's so great about the dumbbells. They're super versatile. We're also massive fans of supersets. And the great thing about supersets is they really lend themselves to superheroes, because you wanna have the size, you wanna have the look, but the supersets really help by elevating the heart rate. They get you lean, they keep you lean, they give you endurance. And those are a lot of things that if you wanna be as close to a superhero as you can, those are some of the tools you want to have in the toolkit, and that's why we enjoy performing this style of training.
Feeling a little different.
There we go. Feel a little better now. Yeah, time for another trap workout.